Okay, here comes an effort for the cause. So June says that she needs some items for cataloging for the future. And she's basically cataloging weapons in order to get an idea of the percentage of drop rates. However, in order to do something like this, the numbers need to be as accurate as possible in relation to not touching loot, so to speak. So whatever's been looted, you can't delete any of it and can't use any of it or craft any of it. The idea is to be able to have a database of numbers to be able to play with, and those numbers are going to be skewed if we go in and delete stuff or create new things. So 165 pages of items. 165 pages of items. I haven't gone through the vast 95% of this stuff. I'll tell you exactly how I do this. Every 4 or 5 days, I'll go check the most recent page, kind of skim through it, look for a new bow, skim through next page, look for a new bow. If I find something, I might print it. If I don't, I delete it. But in general, the vast majority of these pages I have not looked at. So, however, it's not an accurate reading. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete all of them. And we're going to go ahead and basically refill this page with all new stuff. I'm not going to touch any of it. I'm not even going to look at any of it. Just going to accumulate it and save it for June. Now, one thing that I am going to take into consideration here is all of the frostbound stuff. I am not going to touch any of this because I have not done any videos on them yet, and I would like to do that before getting rid of anything. So, I'm going to go ahead at this moment, and I'm going to delete every single thing in this fabricator, except these. Oh, fun times. All right, I should have got a cup of coffee. Going for one. Hey, wait a second. Hold on. Let's keep a score count on the gold. Let's see how much. Let's see how much gold we make. Okay, cool. Oh, that's gone. Oh my goodness, what's that? Oh, damage. Look at that. Look at that. No, don't look at it. It's gone. Look at that. Look at that. Don't look at it. It's gone. Look at it. Look at. Don't look at it. It's gone. Okay, this is gonna take too long. Hey, you know it would be a really cool feature while we're sitting here? You know, like how I could probably just like hold my trigger button down and then maybe it starts shaking. I get a little X, click, 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 click. I know modern technology kind of spoils us. We want that instant gratification. Oh. This game was definitely not instant gratification. You know how many years this has been in the making? This was being designed back when we were reading text on paper. And we kept envisioning, oh man, if we could just like jump into these worlds. Oh my goodness, what it would be like. Hey, guess what? We are finally there. And not only are we there, it's pretty awesome. And not only is it pretty awesome, it's only going to continue to get better. Oh my goodness, we are transmuting all of this energy right now. So, finding dungeons. Oh yeah, let's talk about dungeons, right? So everybody saved dungeons that got deleted. Yeah. Oh, I'm feeling energy. Hold on a second. Hold on. I think I'm feeling a clearing now because my chest is starting to get really thick here. Oh, is it a realization of all this stuff that I'm deleting? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, the saved dungeons. Yeah. Go back to the saved dungeons. How everyone's tripping out over the dungeons. Okay, so with the exo boards, right? All the crystal hunt dungeons. I started working on those probably around like level 20, 20-ish. Yeah, it was probably about level 20, right? But I didn't get my solid dungeon till probably like 22. Yeah, well, like 2 levels, right? Just to put perspective, for real. So I used that one dungeon and I did it over and over and over and over and over and over again, up into the point where the scoreboard had over 2,300 points off of that one dungeon. It was crazy. I knew that dungeon so well. It was so quick. It was so finely lubed. Oh man, I was popping out Teslas like it was nobody's business. But then everything changed. And I went to the board and I was like, oh, I got this feeling of disappointment for just this one split second, and then immediately I was like, oh, wait a second, dude. Oh my goodness, hold on a second. Think about this. Think about this. When you were 20, that's when you got that dungeon, right? That was a while ago, yeah? Well, you were manifesting a very different reality back then than you are now, yeah? So everything that's changed within your field since then to now is attracting something very different. Yeah. And it's grander. Yeah. So you're going to find another dungeon. Oh, it's going to be sweet. Let me tell you about this dungeon I found yesterday. Yo, man. Okay, so the first, all right. The first dungeon that I basically got up to like 2,400 points with, how do you explain? The way I used haste in it, I had to time it a specific way. So in the videos that I would show, I popped 2 haste potions. I used one at the very beginning to basically take off in the beginning, and then pop the second one in the middle of the run. That's not how I normally do it, because it's faster, but it's inefficient in the sense that every time you come back from a run, well, you got to go back to the fabricator because you popped 2 potions. So you're not going to have 2 potions for the next run. But if you find a playstyle where you can only use 1 haste potion, well, now you can use 1 haste potion per round, and you don't have to go back to the fabricator until like the 3rd. Oh, that's an accident. What did we No, it's never an accident. Yeah, I didn't even see it. I'm curious. Without even looking at it. Okay, it's normal damage. Any procs? Not a reload. Not a reload. Oh, hold on a second. What is this? 85 damage, sorcerer damage. I don't know. There's a reason this happened, so I'm not gonna delete that, but I'm also not gonna rock with it right now. That works for me. Yeah. Reload, unload it. Okay, cool. Going back to the fabricator, deleting stuff. Now I am totally sidetracked as to what that was. All right, come on back to me. I shall go back to... Is this another sign? Oh, wait a second. Hey, y'all thinking what I'm thinking? Hold on a second. I'm just saying, this is how things just manifested for me, so I'm trying to explain, I'm showing you my world, okay? Nothing's a coincidence. There's always a reason for everything, okay? The more you can become in alignment with that, and the more you can actually shred your doubts about it, the more accurate it becomes. However, look at it this way. I, quote unquote, accidentally printed a crossbolt, right? Cool. I accidentally printed a shield. Accidentally. One thing we cannot do right now is use this and this because of a back slot, right? Okay. Moving on. All right, so let's come back over here. Let's go ahead and delete some more items. You know what make oh, hold on a second. Yes, yes. Damn it. That did not work. Alright, we're just gonna have to do this the good old post-production way. I'll see y'all in a few minutes. So generate the real in everything you do. Yeah, I will be the one to leave when I go back to you. I will be the one to be when I come back to you. Oh, we saw that one. Oh my goodness, I just deleted. It's okay. That's why you're not supposed to be looking at this while you're doing it. Close your eyes. Oh, but I saw. It's okay. Close your eyes. Yes, I know. I sound crazy right now. Oh, let me tell you about thoughts, because this actually might. This this is going to come into what's the word I'm looking for? It's eventually going to come out anyway. So, you know, like how a lot of us like to keep thoughts within. Yeah. I look at I look at this body as being kind of like a radio, right? And any radio, like if you're old school like me, you know what a ghetto blaster is. They got speakers. Oh no, ghetto blasters ain't have headphones with that. Okay, so we'll go to modern technology. This body is a stereo of some sort. It has the capability of playing through speakers, hence what is being done at this moment. Or it has the ability to communicate through headphones, which is what a lot of us like to, what's the word I'm looking, express as thinking, right? Well, if I see this form as being a radio of some sort, sometimes I tune into broadcasting stations and I choose to translate and express those stations through headphones, and sometimes I translate and express those stations through speakers, and that is experienced as what you might say thinking or hearing, or thinking or saying, right? I know. And with that being said, When it sounds like I am talking to myself, I'm not. But these broadcasting stations are. I'm not crazy, really. I'm sane enough to be able to talk myself out of it if it ever happens. And everyone else. No, I'm just. Go bye-bye. Oh, man, look, we're at 144 pages. Ah. It really does make it easier when you don't look at it. Just look at the icon. Icon trash. Icon trash. Icon trash. Icon trash. Next. Icon trash. Ooh, candy cane. Icon trash. Ooh, candy cane. Icon trash. Ooh, candy cane. Dude, we're transmuting energy here. Go with it. Welcome to the next level. Level. Ah, Dimension, drum and bass. If I could only license your music. Ooh, there we go. Can someone tell me where I can license Dimension's music to use on this channel? Dude, that would be so awesome. Let's do a little play with numerology while we're here. Let's try to milk this experience in whatever way we can. Okay. I'm gonna do two. We're gonna do two objectives here. We're gonna do numerology based off of the total count, and then we're also going to do it based off of the total pages. These are gonna be two separate numbers. We're going to calculate them differently. I don't really know what they're going to represent at this time, but pretty simple. We'll talk about it when we get there. Something else that's coming up right now is to talk about intention, setting intention, right? What did we just do? We still have a lot of pages left here, and there's a lot that can happen between now and then. We set an intention for when this is done. One number is going to read something, one number is going to read something else. We don't know what that is at the moment, but there's going to be a relationship between that and what we are doing at this moment. Now, one way to look at it is we could say, how do we say this in a way that is clear? Because everything is open for interpretation, and this is something that can be easily misunderstood misunderstood to represent something different. Candy canes, candy canes, candy canes. Oh, distraction, distraction, distraction. Candy canes, candy canes. Popcorn. Toastmasters. Oh my goodness, now I remember that. I used to go to this group called Toastmasters. It's like AA for people that like to talk. No, I'm just joking. It's basically where you go for public speaking for like if you have difficulties communicating in well, just communicating in general. This helps just talking one-on-one, or it helps talking with groups. The idea is that we come together as a group and we randomly discuss different topics. For pretty much a lot of it's like free flow, but I'm sorry, my mistake. Some of it is free flow, or in the sense where we just pick a topic called table topics and we just like go off the cuff to speak about the topic. I always loved those. Those were a lot of fun because you never know what you're going to get. And I guess that's kind of what I really enjoy about this so much. You never know what you're going to get, which can cause anxiety if you feel like you're losing something. Because, well, if you feel that you're losing something, you automatically attract a feeling of fear, loss, right? And then now you're feeling this feeling of fear and you're overlaying it over a specific context. And now you're seeing the perspective from that fear, and all your interpretations are based off of that feeling. If you had a different feeling, your interpretations would actually be different. That's why two people could be experiencing the same event and respond completely different to each other. Our responses are based off of our experiences, and they're very unique, very unique. Now, relaying that back to here, in regards to deleting these items, these are the moments where you're following one track, you get led to another, you get distracted by the popcorn and talking about Toastmasters, and then you start talking about how you are discussing different topics. See, there's a couple things going on right now, and I'm trying like to not get involved and allow things to come out. But the resistance always comes in trying to understand when trying to allow it to communicate. So it's kind of like a river when it's flowing, when stuff's flowing through. It's like you just kind of watch. But the moment you try to stare at something, it's all of a sudden your head's moving and you can't keep track of it, and everything else starts. You cause tension and resistance. But if you just sit there and allow it to just kind of flow through and just kind of watch it as it flows through, there's no resistance because you're not trying to hold on to anything. So holding on to thoughts, ideas, all of this stuff can actually cause that situation. We have a dagger. What's the relevance here? Let's look at it. Black and red dagger. What green? Black, red, and green dagger. There's a significance here. What is it? Nothing's ever an accident. Nothing is ever an accident. And we will continue to delete this, continue to move along until we finish or something else comes into our awareness. So I'm readjusting. As I'm doing this, I'm not sure. My original focus was up here on the top of the scoreboard. Scoreboard. Listen to me. Wow. Okay. So, let's rephrase that. I was looking over here on this top board. This is where my focus was at. Come on, let's just laugh about this for a sec. No, that's funny. That's super duper funny. It's been a big part of what I've been doing. There's no way to explain that. I really, really enjoy playing. And that scoreboard gave me a direction of how to play. I could just come in here and just randomly pick stuff and play, but I just like playing. It doesn't matter if I'm doing souls, if I'm doing crystal hunts, or if I'm doing dungeon raids, or if I'm just running around the outpost throwing snowballs with someone. I like being in here. This is a wonderful environment and space to interact. I mean, the physics, I just like being here. And all these things that I get to do while I'm in here, they're things to keep me occupied. And if these things aren't working or they're not keeping me occupied, I've got so much I can do. I can go into a dungeon at any time and just go explore. Like while I'm going through like killing everything, I'm looking around thinking, man, I can't wait till Hermione and I can like just start walking around here and like act like archaeologists and just kind of like look at this space from a different perspective. But I can't do that yet because back when I was at level 22, I started, I don't even want to say creating goals, because creating goals mean I saw something and I wanted to do it. I don't look at life in that sense. Whenever I experience something, I experience it in the perspective of this is what's happening. Like if you're looking at a wave, right? If you're in a car, perfect experience. If you're driving in a car and you can look 3 or 4 lanes or 3 or 4 cars ahead of you, you can see when the next stop sign is, when the next traffic light, when all this stuff is happening, right? Well, you can sit there and say, well, when I get to the next, and you're like thinking that you're getting there. But if you also look at it a perspective of, I'm driving down the street, that's coming, then it's not, you don't need to go to the next street. The next street's already on its way. So from a perspective of looking at thoughts or looking at visions of ideas, it's not imaginary. When I experience it, it's, oh, that's cool. I could think, let's do that. That's what's happening. Okay, what do I need to do to prepare to make that as an easy transition as possible? Because I don't want to create tension. That's what's trying to happen. And anything that's trying to make a decision to do something different has to have a basis. So that's how I'm experiencing it right now. When I was in the 20s, I looked at that leaderboard and I was like, wow, to be able to be up there, it's like you got to play at a skill level. I would love to know what that's like. Not being at the top of the board, not necessarily that. I mean, yeah, is that possible? Because I looked at it and it was like, it wasn't even about possibility or wanting to do it. It wasn't in my realm of thinking. It was like, wow, it must be really cool to play at that level. And then when you manifest that desire of, I want to play at that level, let's see what happens. The natural result of that is you end up there because you're trying to play it, because how you're playing, it's a byproduct. So for me, it was more a byproduct of me wanting to be really good and being good at in a specific direction. Instead of jumping around in here and randomly picking stuff, I put the same focus that I put into my training in this space into playing in this space. So I put all of my efforts into just doing crystal hunts from level 20 all the way up to like 42, I think it was. And doing the same dungeon over and over and over, because once I got accustomed to it, all I was doing was refining, and I was getting better at movement, navigation, playing, so that whenever I would go do something else, what I learned in those crystal hunts applied there. And then once I started working on the soul harvest, I did the same thing. Raised that one up by doing the same thing, just practicing and playing in these spaces. The scoreboards, for me, were a direction. There still are. It's a direction. But I set a goal back in the 20s, and it hasn't fully completed yet. So I'm seeing the next thing as the archaeology while I'm still here trying to finish this first goal. So yeah, it's still in my awareness. I'm kind of in a transitionary process right now, but I'm trying to do as much in every direction as I can without spreading too thin and still being able to get everything accomplished. I absolutely love hanging out with people. I absolutely love playing multiplayer, but I also know that I absolutely love being able to come into space and then just go into flow and just stay in it as long as possible. I don't know if you noticed that. Okay, introducing you to processes again. We hear so much about the external all the time. We don't really focus on, hey, what's going on internally a lot of times, right? So let me explain. In this situation, we're deleting everything here, right? Now, I'm trying to milk this for as much as we possibly can. If you ever watch Moana, think about the coconut, right? Use the husk. Yes, I did reference Moana. You got a problem with it? Use the coconut. Use the husk. Use the meat. Use the water. Use every bit of it. Because what... Well, dude, it's that whole thing. Everything's holy, right? Everything has value. Everything has value. You just have to look for the value. Okay. What are we doing here? We're deleting 100 and probably 40 something. I don't want to say deleting. We are salvaging 140 something pages of items here, right? That's the intention. All right. So we just got to salvage it. No. We just have to salvage it for June. Okay. All right. What else can we do with this? Well, if we record doing it, Well, at least if someone... No. I'm sorry, that realization came afterwards. Okay. So after that one, it was, okay, well, if we're going to do this, let's go ahead and record doing it, because we're kind of in this frame of mind of recording everything for content. This could be good for putting on Life on Eternity anyhow. So let's go ahead and record it. All right, that's another thing. Hey, let's talk. Yeah, and while we're talking, let's go ahead and work through some personal issues. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's another thing, right? And what else we got here? Oh, hey, since we're deleting this stuff and we're focused up here on the scoreboard, this is just looking here, right? Yeah, this stuff's important too. Oh, okay. So change your view so you're looking right here. Okay. And no, somewhere like right around there, because that'll put everything in the middle of the screen. Okay. Oh, hey, I'm teaching something for content creators. Okay. This is where I'm looking right here. No, hold right there. And let me look at. Let me put an item on the table. I'm acting like a photographer now. Okay. So, what am I trying to block right now? Because VR is very difficult without having lines. I want to block this part of the table. I want the thing is, I want the weapon to be visible, and I want this information to be visible. So I'm trying to use kind of like the middle between the two as my center point of where I'm looking. So if I stare there and I just kind of make sure to maintain my head there, I should be able to get the framing that I'm looking for. And then in post, I might need to stretch it to kind of fit the composition that I'm looking for. Okay. So now that I'm incorporating the bottom and the top, okay, that's one thing. Keep in mind, what I'm doing here is I'm using the same processes that I use in dungeons in order to get better at them. It's just translated a different way. It's becoming efficient. And yeah, efficient and effective. All right, so we're already got like 3 points that we're taking care of here. Now the next thing is, okay, if anybody's watching this, let's give you an opportunity. Instead of just click. Let's present it a little bit easier. Okay, so if we move over here, click on this, right? That's going to show the weapon. Now if we loop under and come back over here to delete, the whole time that you're watching, you know that, hey, this is selected. I'm not going this is back, this is back, and this is constantly changing. So I'm keeping this in my awareness, right? Delete, come back over here, select, delete. Little things, but all these little things add up into a complete expression, okay? Now, what are we solving here? Well, there's probably a lot of us that just want to look at what this stuff is, and someone might just decide to press pause, or, yeah, pause or rewind. So now we're creating the opportunity to be able to make that easier for whoever's watching it. Okay, how else can we improve what we're doing? Well, at the moment, this is it. But if you notice, there was a couple moments where I would start doing this number, right? And then what happened was I caught it, and it was like, wait a second. Okay, focus, go back here, start again, and start the cycle. What I'm doing here in this moment is actually, I'm creating a workflow, right? And it's actually a practice on focus and concentration as well, too. When I first started to learn to meditate, it was about having to focus. And that turned out to be the easiest thing for me through sound. I would either use a mantra or just use an audio guide or a track. And what I would do is I would just tune into it, so to speak. Tune into it. I would focus on it with my ears in the way where someone would focus on something with their eyes. If I say, look over here, when you're looking over there, you might be focused on one thing, but you have everything else in your peripheral vision, right? So you still see it soft around there, but you're focused at one point. With sound, it's possible to do that too, where you hear a sound and it's like, okay, you listen to music, you hear music, but listen to a specific instrument, and you kind of focus in on it with hearing. You focus on the instrument, and you can listen to the instrument from the beginning to the end, and the music is just kind of just part of it. Or you can change your focus at any time. It's no different than eyesight. It's just you're learning to do it with ears. Well, in this case, what I'm doing is I'm creating a practice of focus by creating a sequential step. So I click here, go around, garbage can. Come back around here, click here, go around, garbage can. And what I'm doing is keep doing this. It's a simple process. 1, 2, 1. Well, let's include the circle. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And it just becomes like an exercise, right? Now the idea is, how long can I keep this exercise going without breaking the flow? And then what ends up happening is, in the process of doing this, something will happen that will attract my awareness to something else. So for instance, my awareness was just drawn to, oh, you're not, because you're focused on the 1, 2, 3 steps now, you're not focused on looking over here. Okay, cool. So now let me focus on looking over here while I'm doing this. Well, while I'm doing this, now the mind is looking at this dot, and it's like, oh, that's this color, that's this color, that's this shape, that's that shape. And then that can start to trigger other thoughts, other stations that you tune into to project impressions, opinions. This is this, this is light, this is dark. This is this color, this is this shade, this is this is that. Next thing you know, you forgot that you were doing a 1, 2, 3 step. Oh, I forgot about my 1, 2, 3 step. Okay, let me focus on that again. Oh wait, I need to focus on this too. Okay, go back to doing both again. Alright. And you just keep doing this over and over. Over and over. And just like learning to write your name for the first time, eventually you don't even have to think about it anymore. But at the very beginning, it's always very clumsy. Just like doing a dungeon. That's why I do them on 1 until I feel, okay, you know what? Let's turn the difficulty up a little bit more. It's not because I'm not capable, it's because I'm trying to be efficient. When I'm trying to find resistance, I'm going to tackle the biggest thing, and I'm going to reduce the other things. So start off easy, and when you start off slow. When you go through a dungeon and you're looking to pick it for a specific reason, it doesn't have to be about fast. It could just be about what's the most lucrative, or what's the most challenging, or whatever your intention is. When you go into it, you can start off low and ease your way up. It makes it much easier. All right, I'm gonna grab a drink. One moment. Nothing's ever a mistake. Nothing's ever a mistake. Remember, we already set an intention on these numbers and these numbers having a very specific meaning when this is done. We're going to create that experience. Now, we're going back to the very first thing that started this whole dialogue. We're going to either create the experience, or we're going to manifest what we have already envisioning. That's new for me. That color from here on that bow is unique to me. I don't know what it looks like when it gets closer, but right now from here, this is silver and white. This is teal. This is brown like wood with teal lines. And that string is like a tan color. I'm going to store that in Armory. I don't even want to look at it. However, what I was getting at was, it was this whole discussion about, are we really creating or really just witnessing and unfolding? Because you can't prove or disprove either or. But you can also prove and disprove either or. There you go. You can't prove or disprove either or, yet you can also still prove and disprove either or. So the next thing becomes, okay, so what you're telling me is one set of rules works and gets one set of results. One set of rules works and gets a set of results. So wouldn't it just make sense to make a decision based off of the results versus what seems believable or not? I mean, even like from a perspective of like scientific logic, that still makes a lot of logical sense. Anyhow, between now and when we finish deleting all these, the amount of candy canes, this means something too. Don't get it twisted. There's much more in everything that you see. The amount of candy canes that we have will represent one number. The amount of pages of candy canes that we have will represent another number. We already set the intention. So anything that happens between now and then is going to be a reflection of it based off of the intention. Let's see what happens. Ooh, what's happening? I need to get closer. Oh man, we forgot to save Arendelle. Hold on. Yes, we can still hold on. Hold on, we're gonna come back. I need to make sure that this is the correct dungeon. I know. Look, easiest. You see that? Easiest. I'm putting on easiest. Hold on. I'm thinking about Arendelle right now. Oh, yep, we saved it. Okay, cool. Ooh, this is... Okay, Let's go back. I'm sorry that I love those winter scenes. Those things are so awesome. I guess I was feeling it. All right, trust me, this isn't going anywhere. We got a lot of pages left to go. All right, go get some hot cocoa. Oh, that's Hermione's favorite color. And so is Holidays. She loves Christmas. All right. Make note at this moment 7-7. Okay. Welcome to my world. Some of y'all think this is crazy, but sometimes you gotta have faith to be crazy. There's that black and red again. And the 77. I'm just learning about numerology, like, really, really early in. So it's definitely very much in my awareness at the moment, but I don't have the experience yet. So I know there's got to be someone watching this video right now that is able to make interpretations. I understand it's just your interpretations, but I'm curious. It's even when we're 85% right about something, we're still 85% right about something. It's still a direction. So always keep that in mind. That was always a big hurdle for me. If it wasn't 100%, and it wasn't even necessarily that if it wasn't 100%, if I didn't see something that was completed, it was very absolute. There was no 99%. It was 100% or 0%. And if it wasn't 100%, it just wasn't 100%. I don't want to say it was something other percent. It's the perspective was that it was either done or not. But 95% of something, 90% of something, hey, I would have taken this game in 95% completed status. And you'd be quite honest, they probably look at this as being like 5%, 2% completed status. So it's all perspective. It's all perspective. A lot of us came here with the expectation that we were stepping into a space that would expand. But with more perspective, if you really see behind the eyes, behind the creation, this was never completed to begin with. This was literally, we got enough out, let's start. And that's a very big difference from, we got something that works, let's expand out from here. Because your intention is just the expansion, not a final product. Think about that for a second. It's about the expansion, not the product. It's about the journey, not the completion. Nothing's ever completed. There was this time about 6 years ago where I got rid of everything that I had. I had a huge Star Wars collection, got rid of it. Had a huge gaming rig computer setup that I took many years to actually accumulate and build. Got rid of it. Bookshelves full of books, got rid of it. I didn't sell any of it. I sold some of the toys, but I literally gave away pretty much all of it, including the sports car I had, 350Z. Gave it to a friend so he can sell it for his nonprofit. And it was just this months of just literally getting rid of everything and everything and everything. At the time when Hermione and I first got together, well, I wouldn't say when we first got together. This is when we moved there. This is many years after we got together. And we moved with 2 vehicles and 2 sport bikes and a 25-foot U-Haul, and everything was full between the 2 of us. Now, she's a travel nurse. We live on the road. And all of our belongings can now be consolidated to one vehicle and a 5x8 trailer. Look at that, I'm not paying attention here. I'm breaking the flow. And all the changes that have happened between then and now have been a reflection of letting go of stuff, letting go, more and more and more and more. I always said I would eventually want to feel like I can live out of a backpack. Not the actual experience of living out of a backpack. I enjoy way too many things that occupy space that a backpack cannot fit. Unless, remember Fantastic Beasts? Ooh, I'd like a backpack like that. It's got to be fashionable, though. I can't walk around in a briefcase. It's got to be like an Under Armour backpack, because like everything I have is Under Armour. Don't ask. I like being able to go into one store and walk out with everything that I need, literally. Anyhow, never talk about Under Armour. The process of releasing and letting everything go. What happened in Colorado was an extreme version of it. But going through this process here, just sitting here, going through this page, deleting, and the discussions, the energy that's being experienced and expressed, it feels like this huge release. It's quite interesting. And I'm grateful. So awesome. So awesome. Oh, no bobbing to music. We're gonna shake the camera doing that. I totally should have used Tiffany for this one. I still haven't figured out how to get it to... Tiffany is a cosmetology head that we bought that goes on a tripod mount. The intention was originally to be able to stick the Quest on Tiffany's head and have basically like a tripod in this space, so that way I can do some recording without getting any motion. The only thing that does not work, and I did not take into consideration after getting Tiffany and setting it all up, was that you can't get any framing because you have to put the headset on the mannequin head. and you can't record and cast at the same time. So there's no way to be able to put the headset on Tiffany and then cast it to a TV and basically use your TV as a viewing monitor and then just move the tripod around. It doesn't work that way. So when you're recording, you can only see from within the headset. Now, if it was PCVR, I'm pretty sure there's ways to possibly do it that I'm not capable of doing at the moment, but I told you, we're gypsies. I got a headset. I got a MacBook Pro, and Hermione's got like this little laptop that's not really built for doing, it's a laptop. It's not a desktop. So, got to work with what we got. I wonder how many screenshots are going to come out of this video. I was considering it time-lapsing, but it's like, no. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, don't watch it. There's someone out there that wants to watch the whole thing or wants to get information off of it, or will say, why didn't you just play it all the way through? And let somebody else make the decision to speed through it. Okay. So no speed running the video editing. We're going to play every single bit of it. You make the decision. But there's a lot of good there's a lot more to this video. Oh, I just realized something. It's just now coming into my awareness that they set this up to sort in a manner where all the newest items are at the beginning. I know it's like, it's obvious sitting there now, but it wasn't. Remember, old memory had old process. I haven't touched this fabricator like much recently. So I'm still creating new experiences with old memories of how things were. So the old memory was all the newest items are at the end, which means there are more candy canes in here. That was the last candy cane. And every time we click on here and we click on this trash can icon, we're getting rid of something. Every time we click on here and we click on fabricate, we're getting rid of something. Guess what? That number's not going to change for this. We already know how many candy canes. We've known how many candy canes, and we've known what the page is going to be for a while now. Someone already probably knows this. It's just now coming into my awareness because, well, other things have been in my awareness. So, we already know that the page count's going to be 11. That's not going to change. We already know that there's, well, there's 12 items per page. You multiply. No. You have 12 candy canes. Well, we don't have complete numbers in numerology unless it's a master number, such as 11, 22, or 33. We don't have complete numbers. We don't have numbers past 10. Let's re-explain that. Numbers past 10 unless it is a master number or a number that has multiple successions, like 555, 333, or 1111, or 4, so on and so forth. So 11, page 11. That's a master number. We'll use that. Candy canes. Well, do the math. 11 times y'all do the math yet? Okay, I'm not counting right now. I'm trying to give, you know the numbers before I do, and I want to keep it that way. I haven't done the math. But whatever that number is, you multiply it by that, you subtract these 4, and that's going to give you how many candy canes there are. Whatever that number is, as long as it's not 11, 22, 33, or something that's 3 digits in sequence, or more digits in sequence, add them together. So in this case, 26 would be 6, 2 plus 6, that's 8. The number would be 8. But let's say, for instance, this was a 9. Or no, let's take that back. Because if we made a 9, it would be 11. It would be master, so we couldn't touch that still. So if we change the 2 to a 9, 9 plus 6 is 15, right? Well, then you take the 1 of the 15, the 5 of the 15, you add 1 plus 5, you have 6. Now you have 6. That's the number you resolve to. So do something like that for the candy canes. I'm not focused on it. I don't want to know what it is yet until we're done. Surprises are fun. Especially when I find out the numbers, like, oh, cool. But what does it mean? Because I'm not very familiar with it yet. I'm still developing my dictionary and definitions for it. Okay. Stop trying to do. Now that I brought awareness to, I don't want to do the math now. I'm focused. Don't do the math. This is probably why this is not coming to my awareness until now, because to have to go through 100 pages of that, we probably would have had a different experience, and that wasn't what's necessary to come out at this moment. That's coming out now. Oh, that's funny. Nothing's ever coincidence. Everything's a mirror reflect. Oh my goodness, if you can, such a the idea of a mirror reflection. Okay, think about it this way. Oh my goodness, we're gonna go here. Yes, we're gonna try to describe this with no props. I know a lot of us have familiar with the concept of multiple dimensions, right? So you have one dimension, which would be a point. Second dimension would be creating space between those points. And third dimension would be creating depth, which is, well, we see depth. That's what we experience. Well, there's another one that's beyond that, right? So what is fourth dimension, right? So if third dimension is depth, what is fourth dimension? Sorry, my headphones were on when that one printed. I gotta do some sun salutations right now. Hold on. Hold on. No, it's gotta be complete. At least just one. Okay. All right. So we've got. Okay, so let's do this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 candy canes. 12 times 10. 120. 20. Plus the 8, 128. 2 plus the 3, the 3. No, 2 plus 1 is 3. And 8 plus the 3 is 11. 11 candy canes. 11 pages of candy canes. All right, I'm new to numerology. Hook it up. But in the meantime, I gotta go eat and I gotta go catch up to Royal Rush because I spent a lot of time here. See ya.